Hey guys, Scott here, Pine Barren Craftsman. I want to thank everybody so far for watching the videos and subscribing and, you know, listening to me figure this stuff out on the fly. Like I said, this is all one take always. As a point, I don't want to ever push, subscribe to me, like me. I didn't like stuff. I didn't subscribe to stuff. So I don't expect that. And I don't like people putting their hands in pockets and saying, pay me to teach you stuff. I don't care. If you guys like, great. And I appreciate it. It means a lot to me and my family. If you enjoy this, you want me to do it more, I'll probably keep talking to myself anyway and talking to the lamp here. Anyway, this video is going to be a tough one to get out, not because it's emotional, but because there's a lot wrapped up in it in my life. It's a big part of my life, and I can't put it into a 5-minute video. However, I'm going to try. It has to do with some background about meeting a couple of buddies, getting my brain together in my early 20s and trying to become maybe a more intelligent, deeper person, something that thinks a little bit beyond work and girls and cars. That's not all it's about. We know that. But if you go too far, you can get off that deep edge and you never stop thinking. And that's kind of where I'm at now. That's why I'm doing these videos. It's actually helping me get the thoughts out. But long-winded as it may be, we arrive at the subject of the video. Henry David Thoreau. This book, this particular book, this particular man, this particular book, this one too, was given to me by a good friend of mine, and he was very intelligent, very well read. He read everything. Kurt Vonnegut, he read things, this stuff, transcendental writers. He was on the left of the political spectrum, and then he was also in the center, and then he went and dabbled. He was all over. But I appreciated him because he was very musically gifted, and I looked up to him for that. And he seemed to be very intelligent with his discussions, way above my head, above my pay grade. I was lucky just to make a joke and hang out with these guys, as I thought, right? So he gives me this book. He goes, Scott, listen, I think you'd like this. Read this book. And I'm like, I ain't read nothing but a magazine, man. What are you talking about? I watch video games. I do this, that. He goes, read this, man. You seem to. So I read. I got through civil disobedience, and that was very hard for me to get. I've read things 3 times. I'm like, what is he talking about? I got through it. I digested it. I went on to Walden. Okay, this book has them both in here too, but I like this book because it's got a nice picture. As I like pictures too. Walden, if you don't know, was a pond, Massachusetts. This gentleman here decided to go live on this pond. He built his house by his hands, 2 hands. He only worked for the things he needed. He kept a good log of what he made every month, every week. What he ate was very simple. And he thought about the small things. There was times he was talking about ants on the floor or the thickness of the ice. Imagine that. The ice on Walden Pond was like a foot deep, before global warming, right? So in the middle of December, January. It really just inspired me. And as I read through it every night, I read more and more. And I was like, man, I really like this guy. I really like what he's talking about. It's inspirational. I mean, I've read books that were inspirational, like the Holy Bible, which is a very inspirational book. There's other religious books and faith-based books that you can read that are inspirational. This is something that, talked to me as a human being coming from a different angle. And I don't say he's religious. He does talk about the smallness of humanity, right, or how insignificant. And he brings it down from being like me. It's kind of like everything else, man. So I'm flipping through here. I just found, this is funny, I found a picture in one of these pages. Look at this. This must have been my truck I had for sale. There's my house in the background. That was my original house that I bought. That little ranch. The truck was almost as big as the house. So I guess I put it on this page for a reason. I must have had a note here. So I read through this, and it was one of the main reasons why I decided to move to the northern woods. Talked about the moose hunt in other books. He went up with the Allagash Indians into the Allagash. I should say Native Americans. Brings me to the next topic. This man, through this book, was very instrumental in what brought me here and brought my family here. It took me years to realize this. It didn't just happen overnight. I read the book and just split. It took 10, 15 years to get here. I come here and I talk to some local tribes, American Indian gentleman, and he explained his point of view. I said, hey, man, what about Henry David Thoreau? He goes, yeah, that was the white man trying to sell books. Really shocked me. You know, because here I'm thinking everybody loves this guy. He's, you know, I think there's people in Asia that come over here to visit and see his monuments. They're taking things with the selfie sticks and taking pictures of everything where he was. But apparently there's a different opinion. And later on in his books, he talks about how he was able to talk with the American Indians, or who this guy said that, and he gave him American names. So I realize there's always that undertone of our settlers and treating the natives. So that brought a little bit of a dark light onto it. So I kind of put it to the side. I was like, maybe he wasn't all it was cracked up to be, or maybe he's not so whatever. But living here, after this just happened the year. So after that, living here, I started giving thanks for being here, not only to the Mother Nature, God, higher power, whatever you believe, but I also appreciated the sacrifice that they put in their holy mountains that are up here. It really hit me. And maybe Henry David Thoreau appreciated that too. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't write about it. So, like I said, this is going to be a hard one to get through. So just to get to the point, that's the reason why I'm here. It's what called me here. The wildness with the loons, the moose, the small game, you know, the mink, the fox, the fisher cat, you know. This is amazing stuff up here, man. And reading this book really settled me into it before. And thankfully, I found somebody nice that wants to live with me up here and allow me to do this. So read some more about his stuff. There's a nice book with watercolors I got. I can show that if anybody wants to see it, where they inspire some verses that he writes with some nice artist depictions. And give it a shot. Maybe read it. I mean, don't read Civil Disobedience if you don't like that stuff. Try the Walden. You know, try that. They're everywhere. You can get internet, I'm sure. And, I forgot. I gotta take my tattoos off here. That was supposed to be a joke. I figured it'd be funny. Maybe one day I'll get a tattoo. I don't know. I never got any yet. There's nothing I really want to see forever. Not yet. I'm thinking about it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.